Black women are unbelievable, with the ability to get bent out of shape, compressed in society, and stretched to the limit, yet bounce back stronger. A Black woman's blood's got some spring in it. She is fine, but she is human, so she is not like this all the time. Medical professionals are ignoring the stated pain of Black mothers, and the results are tragic. Our pain is very real, even though we have Black girl magic.
There's a 300-year legacy of Black women's health being unrecognized.
They didn't want to give up on having family.
We wanted to make sure that they knew that we took their fertility care very seriously.
I was a near miss, right, in the Black maternal health crisis.
Hello, I'm Tishani Whitlow. Today we explore health, hope, and happiness the Black woman experience. Did you know there are more than 21 million Black women living in the U.S.? That number released in the last census. Despite all of our contributions, we still face a long road for equality in health care. We start this half hour with issues of the womb and one family's harrowing story of pain and triumph. The road to motherhood isn't always easy.
It was 5 fibroid surgeries, 5 IVF cycles, 100+ days in the hospital, a miscarriage.
It's been a painful journey for Jessie Thompson and her husband, Mark. Their struggles with infertility lasting more than a decade.
I actually had tumors called uterine fibroids that were causing the infertility.
Fibroids are benign tumors of the uterus that often come back after they are removed. It's a condition so common, the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology writes, fibroids should be considered a public health issue.
If you do an ultrasound on all Black women, 80% of them are going to have fibroids. Oftentimes they get put into this rabbit hole of going to treat the fibroids, but not actually diagnosing them with the other disorders that are really causing their symptoms.
Those other disorders include polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS, a hormonal disorder, and endometriosis, where cells grow outside the uterus. Both can impact pregnancy outcomes. Aggressive surgeries are often the solution.
Their research does show that Black women are more likely to be offered a hysterectomy to remove the whole uterus and take away their fertility options.
Dr. Jessica Opoku-Anani, a gynecological surgeon with Columbia University, specializes in removing fibroids with minimally invasive techniques.
I think people thought that there was a genetic component to fibroids, which there may be, but some of it is probably environmental.
Experts say disparities stemming from historical racial bias are also impacting Black women's health.
There's a 300-year legacy of Black women's health being unrecognized. When you have policies that address women, it's usually white women. And so as both female and Black, we often get let's say, short-shifted.
A distinguished professor at Rutgers University, Dr. Deborah Gray White, specializes in the history of Black women in America. She discusses the inequalities we're still seeing when it comes to medical care for Black women.
The experiments that were done on our bodies were used to really make advances in the field of gynecology. We still have issues that are not really being addressed.
Recent data shows that in New York City, Black women on average are 9.2 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women, and are twice as likely to suffer from infertility nationwide. A state-of-the-art fertility center in Brooklyn is trying to provide Black women access to advanced procedures.
And we wanted to make sure that they knew that we took their fertility care very seriously, that we're here in their backyard.
At this branch of Reproductive Medicine Associates, Dr. Tia Jackson-Bay offers IUI, also known as intrauterine insemination, a procedure where doctors physically introduce sperm inside the uterus for pregnancy. Each treatment runs anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s. Dr. Jackson-Bay also performs IVF, in vitro fertilization. Here, an embryo is created outside the body for possible implantation and a baby. On average, a single cycle of IVF can cost $12,000 to $30,000. Both of these procedures make motherhood a possibility, whether it be with a partner or a donor.
I think that message is particularly important for women of color, for Black women, Hispanic women in our region, to know that they are not alone if they're going through this.
Something Jessie only realized after she decided to share her story, and it went viral.
I learned, wait a minute, this was not just my personal hell. There were millions of women all over going through this.
And after everything Jessie endured, she got her happy ending. Her miracle baby, a daughter, is now 11 years old.
Her name is Nia and it means purpose. So I literally birthed my purpose, because birthing her, my story was told in Essence magazine. And from there, I became a patient advocate.
Jessie started a wellness company, The Detox Now. It uses integrative medicine to help other women struggling with infertility and fibroids.
I say integratively because I don't want people thinking I'm saying don't go to the doctor. I say you can control what you consume mentally, emotionally, and physically, and then you also can see what you need to do medically.
A mother and activist who, despite being knocked down, Jessie continues to stand tall, fighting for Black women's health and motherhood.
I live to tell the story and to enjoy my child.
Coming up, reimagining motherhood.
It's just hard to get. They just aren't out there giving sperm.
Inside the Black donor dilemma. And later,
how can I take this stigmatized idea of not having children and make it into something as meaningful as it really is to me?
The rich auntie movement. Find out how it's being fueled by social media. Welcome back. As we continue to explore health, hope, and happiness, imagine you're ready to start a family, but unable to find a match that looks like you. It's a serious issue for women looking for Black sperm. Antoine Lewis has one woman's journey to find a match and how sperm banks are trying to attract donors of color.
I'm divorced, so I didn't have children in my marriage, but I didn't want to give up on having family. Why should I?
And faced with those odds, Tracy Holland never gave up her desire to become a mother. She eventually decided to reach out to New Hope Fertility Clinic and a cryobank to find a Black sperm donor to give her the family she longed for.
African American, of course, I want to keep with my heritage. I'm proud of who I am. And not even that, I want to keep within the scope of what my family looks like. You know?
But Tracy was in for an awakening. The availability of Black sperm was slim to nil.
I had 4 options. That's not saying much in a 10-year span.
It's just hard to get. They just aren't out there giving sperm.
Dr. Michael Thomas is president of the American Society for Reproductive Medicine. Analysis published by the Washington Post in October of 2022 found that Black men account for less than 2% of sperm donors at cryobanks nationwide. Research on the shortage found a common denominator to be generational medicinal mistrust within the Black community, particularly among men.
The thought process is that African Americans don't want to go to the doctor, don't want to participate in trials, don't want to donate anything unless they absolutely have to, unless there's a family member involved. I think it just goes to that. And that's why you see the numbers so low for African American sperm donors, even though there's a great need.
Thomas's team at ASRM has created a task force to recruit African American men to become sperm donors.
Because what happens is that people who do want African American sperm may have to settle for dark complected a person of another race, when that's not what they had thought about when they tried to put together their image of what their family should look like.
And cryobanks across the country are also stepping up outreach efforts to attract donors of color. Scott Brown is Vice President of Strategic Alliances for California Cryobank, one of the leading sperm banks in the world.
We've reached out to fraternities to have their members potentially apply and join our program. We've planted ourselves in cities that have higher populations of African Americans.
But Brown admits one of the toughest tasks for any sperm bank is being asked if there's any Black sperm and having to say no.
We have international demand around the world because most sperm banks around the world have no African American donors. And so we try not to turn people away. We certainly have a couple of donors, and we always have more donors becoming available, but we certainly are not meeting the demand, either domestically or worldwide.
As for Tracy, her 10-year journey to have the family that she wanted came to fruition last July when she delivered a healthy and beautiful 6-pound little girl. When the time is right, she'll explain to her daughter how she came to be. But for now, Tracy is just looking forward to May and Mother's Day, which will finally be a dream come true.
Kind of have a party, a big dinner. This time I'll be able to sit at the table, and instead of me treating my sister, treating my mother to dinner, now someone gets to treat me.
Still ahead, meet the father turning grief into art.
It allows for me, through the art, to be able to tell the stories of these women, because that's something that, you know, you don't hear about.
How he's painting awareness about a disturbing disparity. Our next story, dying to give birth. Black mothers are 3 times more likely to die during childbirth than white mothers. Dan Bowens talks to one father using his own grief to raise awareness about this disparity.
What can an image tell us about love? Art expressing the pain of processing grief and the pure joy of creating new life.
There's something about art that words just can't express.
The paintings are all the work of Omari Maynard, a project that started with a portrait and tribute to his late partner, Shamani Gibson. It's part of a foundation he created called the Araya Foundation, which stands for Advancement of Reproductive Innovation Through Artistry and Healing.
It allows for me, through the art, to be able to tell the stories of these women, because that's something that, you know, you don't hear about.
Women of color whose lives were cut short due to birth inequities and reproductive injustice in the United States, including Shamani Gibson, who passed away 2 weeks after giving birth by C-section in 2019.
Shamani passed giving birth to our second child, Kari. She passed 13 days after he was born. And she passed from a pulmonary embolism.
Maynard says when EMTs arrived at their home, he didn't think their initial questions were relevant.
The questions that kept arising was she on any drugs? Is she on any drugs?
And he says changes to their Brooklyn neighborhood also resulted in a lack of resources at the local hospital.
They didn't have any of the tools, they didn't have the personnel.
In the U.S., a recent study from the CDC found black women are 3 times more likely to die from a pregnancy-related cause than white women. The report stating clearly, factors range from disparities in the quality of health care to underlying conditions, racism, and implicit bias.
This is a child that's not going to have a mother. This is a father that's going to raise a child by himself. This is a family that is trying to celebrate the birth of a child at the same time, you know, burying their mother.
Errol Pierre is Senior Vice President at Health First.
Health First was started in 1993, really focused on making sure underrepresented, low-income patients get access to high-quality care without any barriers.
The New York-based nonprofit insurance company working on getting correct stats for the maternal death rates in the city, trying to help improve the problem.
Access is the biggest issue, so that they can get in to see a doctor, and a doctor that speaks your language and understands you culturally and is really going to take care of you.
These issues affecting women of all income levels, even superstar tennis legend Serena Williams, who documented medical complications with her own pregnancy in a profile with Vogue magazine.
We know that being a celebrity can't even protect you anymore for black women, and so the more I did research, the more I was terrified.
Kimberly Seals-Allers may have been terrified, but it didn't stop her from taking action, creating an app to help.
The app is called Earth, which is spelled like the word birth, but we dropped the B for bias, so it's IRTH. So that really is our goal, to take bias out of the birthing experience. And so on the front end, the app allows you to leave and see reviews from black and brown women and birthing people on OBGYNs, birthing hospitals, and pediatricians.
The Earth app now has reviews from people across the country. Omari, whose work is displayed at the Brooklyn Tea Cafe on Nostrand Ave in Brooklyn, also created a men's network for others dealing with trauma.
Who are just dealing with real issues of life and really needing space to just have conversations about how to navigate it.
And just as his portraits tell stories of love, loss, beauty, and happiness, the images are not statistics lost to tragedy, but mothers whose light and love lives on.
Next, some rich auntie vibes.
I woke up and bought a ticket to Ghana and left 3 hours later. Like, that would be impossible if I have kids.
Now to this story. Social media is having a strong impact on the Black woman experience as it relates to the decision of whether to have children. Crystal Young explores the rich auntie lifestyle and why many financially secure women are saying no to motherhood.
Nothing can break me. Ooh, nothing can shake me.
Young girls are often taught that a big part of being a woman is being a mother. Years ago, society swayed personal choices. Questioning the norm was uncommon. Now the concept of the rich auntie has emerged, and you don't have to be rich or be an aunt to be one. Rich aunties are women living a rich life, focusing on sources of joy that don't include building a family.
Storytellers, grandmothers, composers.
Rachel Gargle is founder of Rich Auntie Supreme. At 34, she's a confident woman who knows who she is and what she wants.
My decision to be child-free, it was something that always felt true to me and felt natural to me. Having children just was not something that felt aspirational per se to me.
Rich Auntie Supreme is inclusive of all women. For Rachel, creating it was personal.
It came out of me saying, how can I take this stigmatized idea of not having children and make it into something as meaningful as it really is to me? And one of my favorite parts about not having children is that the lifestyle that I get to have. The travel, the perhaps disposable income that people might have, the space, my quiet mornings, my slow days.
Rachel, who describes her life as full and rewarding, is also founder of the Loveland Foundation, which offers free access to mental health care for Black women and girls. And she's out with a new book titled A Renaissance of Our Own.
Come with me, babe.
I know like having children will completely change my lifestyle. A couple weeks ago, I woke up and bought a ticket to Ghana and left 3 hours later. Like, that would be impossible if I have kids.
Driven and focused, Jessica Nabongo landed in the record books for being the first Black woman to travel to every country in the world, all 195 of them. Through travel, she says she enjoys making human connections. And while her lifestyle isn't exactly carefree, it is child-free.
I'm turning 39 this year. I haven't frozen my eggs. I'm not in a relationship, so I'm just kind of like, let me just see what this life is giving, and then I think the decision will just come naturally.
Jessica, who struggles with fibroids, says she loves the life she's created.
I definitely want it to be something that me and my partner agree, this is something we believe is a good idea.
The growing Rich Auntie lifestyle isn't just regional, it's national. Out of Chicago, Rich Auntie Energy is helping normalize the child-free lifestyle through its catchy merch that often sells out. Turns out being patient, kind, loving, and nurturing are qualities that any woman can cultivate, whether she chooses to have children or not.
Regardless of color, health, hope, and happiness are pillars of a successful life and things we're all entitled to. We leave you now with messages of love and light. Until next time, I'm Tishani Whitlow.
I love being a Black woman because if you can be a Black woman, that means you overcome so much.
That, for me, is what makes us magical, right? That we can still find our joy, that we are showing up for each other.
The legacy that we come from, where we can see the progression of our people towards liberation, towards freedom.
The tight bonds of family and community that endure to this day, and it just fills me with so much pride.
I love being Black Because Black is strong. They did not lie about that.
Because we won't give in. And again, I go back to Maya Angelou, because we rise.